Hello everyone, thank you for joining me. My name is Edshara and today I'm sharing my book outlet haul. Now I obviously participated in the book outlet Black Friday Cyber Monday sale and I ended up getting myself about 15 books, and I tried to get books that I knew I was going to read. So most of the books are books that are from my Goodreads Want to Read shelf, and these are books that have been talked about or recommended by other booktubers as well as people that I am friends with on Goodreads. Now, because there are so many books, I'm probably not going to accurately remember all of the synopsises, so please forgive me if I don't share those, but I obviously will share all of the books. So let's go ahead and get into this box, and let's hope that if I cut in the right place, that there won't be a repeat of July's book outlet box that I had, where books weren't what I wanted. Hopefully this one is a little bit more exciting because everything will be as I want it to be. Alright, box is open. Ooh. Paper out. How is that? Okay, that's about you guys. Oh, that's a lot of paper, guys. Jeez Louise. Okay, so I'm going to take this out, which is my little invoice, and let's get into the books. I'm so excited. Okay, well, we'll put it that way. I knocked the scissors over. Okay, anyway, let's go. So the first one is The Smell of Other People's Houses by Bonnie Sue Hitchcock. I can't remember off the top of my head what this one is about exactly, but I do know that it follows 4 different people, I think, and their stories are all about to converge. And this is one that I've seen a couple of people that I follow here on BookTube as well as Goodreads have talked about this, and they say it's really good, and it's pretty short, and it's got a pretty cover. Next up is Dead Iron, The Age of Steam by Devin Monk. And this one I think is about, is a man, he is cursed with, how do you say it, lycanthropy, which I think is basically he can be a werewolf or something. And it's got steampunk in it, and the cover was pretty neat, but I've been interested in this one for a little while, and so I figured I'd pick it up. But it's got monsters and machines and magic, and it takes place in America. I'm hoping that I'm going to love this one. And then we have Finding Someplace by Denise Lewis Patrick. This one follows a girl after the events of Katrina in Louisiana, and I read a Denise Lewis Patrick book earlier this year. I can't think of the name off the top of my head. I apologize, but I gave that one 5 stars and I ended up buying that one as well. So this one sounded very interesting, so I decided to pick it up. And this one is, it's just light blue under the cover, guys. But it sounds interesting, so hopefully I'll love this one as much as the other book of hers that I read. And then we have, oh, I'm so excited for these because these are so pretty. But this is Poison Is Not Polite by Robin Stevens. This is a part of the, I think it's Murder Most Unladylike series, but it is a Wells and Wong mystery. Now, this is not the first book, so I don't know what this one is about. I think it's something to do with poison in a train ride. I don't know. But it follows 2 girls in the 1930s. And this was a really, I read the first book in this series and I really enjoyed it. So I ended up picking up the first 3 books in this series from the sale, during the sale. I think this is book 2. And then we have First Class Murder, which is, I believe, book 3 in this series. And again, just pretty covers. I didn't show you guys, sorry. This one has really cool in pages, as well as That is pretty. It's like a yellow, gold, and green or thing, whatever. But that's pretty. Love it. And then next up is Saints and Misfits by S.K. Ali. I guess that's how you pronounce that one. I can't remember what this one is about. I'm so sorry, guys. But I know it's one that I was really interested in reading, so I'm hoping that I will like it. And then I have The Jumbies by Tracy Baptiste. Now, I already read this book. I read this one back in October, but I did not get to do an October wrap-up, which I was so bummed about because I read so many books in October and I really enjoyed all of them, and this was one of the ones that I enjoyed. This one is kind of based on Caribbean folk tales or fairy tales, and it follows a girl named Corinne, and her and two of her little friends, they have to battle all of these sinister creatures that live in, I guess, the forest or the woods. But anyway, I love this book and I gave it 5 stars, and I can't wait to read the next book in the series. But if you are interested in anything like this is definitely one to pick up and read. I've also heard that the audiobook is great. My library unfortunately did not have the audiobook, so I had to stick with just reading it, but it's still really good on its own. And oh, it's red, which that's my favorite color. Alright. Okay, this is the first book in the series, and this is Murder is Bad Manners. I think I gave this one 4 stars. I can't really remember. But this one, it follows Wells and Wong. I don't remember their first names. But one of their teachers ends up missing. So they kind of hunt down, you know, what has happened to their teacher. This was really, really good, and my library did not have the second or the third book, I don't believe. So I couldn't continue the series. So I ended up just waiting it out, and now I have the first 3 books. Next up is, oh, this one's big, guys. Oh, okay. So this is now probably the biggest book, fictional book, that I own. This is Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell, and I actually saw Charles from Sir Book Sage talk about this book. He unhauled it on his channel, and I think it has to do with magic and maybe wizards or something. I don't know. I know it's got magic in it, and it sounded so interesting, and I don't do big books like this, so I figured I could start, you know, at the beginning of the year and just, you know, work my way through it. But this book is like over 1,000 pages. Yes, it is 1,006 pages. But I'm really interested in this, so thank you, Charles, for the recommendation. I hope I love this. And then we have Written in the Stars by Aisha Saeed. Did I tell you what the, well, I didn't tell you who this was by, did I? Susanna Clark. I apologize. Not that you guys couldn't see it, but you know, we're trying to keep it together. Anyway, this is Written in the Stars by Aisha Saeed, and this one is about, I think it's a girl who is supposed to be married. It's an arranged marriage, and she doesn't want to get married to the person that she is supposed to get married to. And then we have The Summer of Chasing Mermaids by Sarah Ockler. Now this was one that I just happened to find while perusing the site, and this one is about a girl who, she is a singer, and it takes place in the Caribbean, but something happens and she loses her voice, and so she kind of has to, you know, figure out how to, you know, be this new person because she can't do the one thing that she's always been good at. And of course there's a boy, and so not only is the cover pretty, but the synopsis intrigued me, and this book was only about $1 and change. I think this might have been one of the cheapest books that I bought, so I figured with it being that cheap, I know it wasn't on my want to read shelf, but I figured I could give it a try. Hopefully I will like it because it does sound really interesting. And then we have, oh wow, this one is tiny. I wasn't expecting it to be so tiny. This is Buffalo Soldier by Maurice Broaddus. And this one follows an former espionage agent, Desmond Coke, and he is Jamaican, and there's this little boy, and people are vying for control of this little boy, so he ends up taking him and fleeing Jamaica, I believe. And I picked this up, one, because of the cover, and it looks like it's going to have some steampunk elements, which you don't see too many people of color in a steampunk novel. At least I haven't. So that was one thing that intrigued me. Second, it deals with Jamaica, and my stepdad is Jamaican, so I kind of wanted to see if there was anything that I could talk about him with. So I picked this one up. Again, I wasn't expecting it to be so tiny. But hopefully that means it's good, because you kind of got to get to the point in a little book like this. But I'm really interested in reading this, and I hope I enjoy it. Again, another book I hope I enjoy. Go figure. Okay, we're coming down to the wire, people. The next book is Elsewhere by Gabrielle Zevin. I think this one has to do with a young girl. She dies, and I think her heaven is sort of an alternate sort of space where you age backwards before you are sent back to Earth. And she's not interested in that. She doesn't want to go backwards. She wants to get her driver's license and go to college and all that kind of stuff. So I think she struggles with where she is. And she struggles with, obviously, her death. So I think I've seen a couple people talk about this one. So this is another one that the premise sounded interesting enough, and it was something that I haven't ever read before. So I wanted to give it a try. And then we have The Hating Game by Sally Thorne. And this one has been talked about by a numerous amount of people that I follow. Most importantly, Chelsea from Chelsea Dollings Reads. Those two co-workers who basically hate each other, but they are vying for the same promotion, and I guess obviously they end up kind of having, you know, some sort of chemistry or romantic feelings. But I know Chelsea has raved about this book. She's read it several times, and so I figured I gotta pick it up, especially after seeing so many other people that I'm follow and am friends with on Goodreads kind of read and review it. I figured I might as well jump on the bandwagon. So yet another one that I am hoping I enjoy, because it has been talked about and hyped up so much. And finally, we're at the end. The last book is Purple Hibiscus by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. I think I said that correctly. But this is another one that has been talked about a lot here on BookTube. I've seen people reading and reviewing it over on Goodreads. This follows a 15-year-old Kambili and her older brother Jaja. They are Nigerian and they lead a privileged life, but their father is not the nicest man in the world, and at some point they end up going to stay with their aunt, and they kind of see how their aunt and their cousins live and how it contrasts to how they live, even though their aunt, I don't believe, is as well off as their father. But I think they end up enjoying living with her a little bit more so than living with their own dad. Now, I know most people do like the book hold, but these books are big, and I'm not going to smack myself in the face with all of these books. So I'm not going to do that. But I do thank you guys for watching this video. And until next time, guys, God bless. Bye!